Thanks for tuning into the latest episode of Words with Michelle, the podcast. You can subscribe to this podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, as well as any other app that you use to listen to your podcast and watch your podcast. You can also watch this on YouTube at Words with Michelle. Today I have Tennile Cooper, who is a marketing lead, and she'll be providing some marketing tips to small business owners. So if you're like me and need some help leveling up your marketing game, listen up to this episode. So Tennille will be speaking about the importance of branding and the importance of intentional marketing, as well as answering that question, should you or shouldn't you use ChatGPT? So to start off the episode, I asked Tennille to introduce herself to the audience. Thanks for being on the show, Tennille.
Just tell the audience a bit about you. Just introduce yourself to us.
Whew, what do I say now about myself? Like I mentioned, like I'm always evolving, and so my title always look different, especially on LinkedIn. I can say like I'm a marketing leader or marketing lead. I've been working in marketing for 10 years now. Um, in tech for the last 4 years. Before that, it was social work. Um, so my road has not been linear. It's definitely been zigzag, crisscross, applesauce. And I anticipate that it's going to be more of that as I go into like the next stage of my career for sure.
Okay, great. So, what are some of the mistakes that businesses make when it comes to? Because I see you do a lot of stuff with branding, like that's
Hmm.
part of marketing, right? What are some of the mistakes
Yeah.
you see that, like entrepreneurs, small businesses, business people, what are some of the mistakes that they make? What you see?
With their brand,
Yeah.
it really depends if it's like a solopreneur where it's a founder working just themselves in a small team, or is it with a larger organization? Because it's going to look differently depending on the size of the company. So, what are we talking about here? Are we talking about like a founder with a small team, or are we talking with a big organization?
So the founder, maybe a solopreneur. Yeah.
Okay. I think the biggest thing I see with them is they're doing too much and all at once and trying to be the marketer, the salesperson, the admin, whatever they do as their profession. If they're selling something as a service or a product, they got to do that, their expertise, and all the other things that they have to do. They're just taking on way too much. Um, and it will show. It will show in your marketing if you are taking on too much and doing everything. Because most people leave marketing to the last bit. Like, okay, I have my expertise. I'm doing my expertise. Say it's an e-commerce business. I was working with an e-commerce business most recently, um, and she sells eco-friendly products. And one of the things that I noticed is she was just doing all the things. She was doing the performance marketing, which is the digital ads, the social media ads that you'll see online. She was writing the copy on her website. She was doing the back end. She was doing the email. She was trying to learn Shopify. But she was more than like she was leaving marketing to last. And when you do that, your energy is low. So you're just going to do whatever you feel like you
Mm.
can get off your plate and get it done. And your audience is going to know that. Like they're going to feel if you put that energy into it or not. Like I was saying earlier, that I take it seriously, the content that I put out, because I want to make sure that people that rock with me know that whatever I'm saying, I'm not saying it lightly or it's not something I believe in. So, what I see with most founders, they tend to leave marketing to the last task on their list to do. And so it comes off bland, unoriginal, not creative, because it's the last thing on the list they want to do. And so they're just, whatever comes up, they'll put out there. And then they'll be upset or disappointed when they don't get the results that they're looking for.
That's a good point, though. Excuse me, that's a good point. But say that, okay, we're talking about solopreneurs. They aren't the only person in that company. And I guess I'm speaking from experience as well. I mean, like, so if they don't have the funds to like hire someone, I could see how that would happen. You know what I mean? Like, I'm
Hmm.
hearing you and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, you're right. Maybe marketing does fall to the wayside because they have their hands in other things,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
So how do they alleviate that? Like, how do they make changes?
Well, they got to lean into what they're good at. So that means you're going to have to hire someone. Now, it's hard when you're still just building your business and you don't have, the funding or the resources to do that. And when I was building my business, I didn't have it either. And as a marketer who was helping other people with their marketing, my marketing was left to last as well.
Oh, no
That I'm
way. You're
speaking.
kidding me. Really?
Yes, I'm
Okay.
speaking from experience. It isn't
Okay.
something I only see with my clients. I was doing it with myself as well. I needed to make myself a client in order for me to do my marketing and make it first priority when it comes to how am I going to say this message? Because one of the reasons why I got into marketing was because I was starting to see a lot of brands, and this can apply for people too, that didn't have enough talent or the product was shitty and they would still get the audience or still make bank. They would still make sales from their product, even the product was crap, but their marketing was on point. They were able to grab the
Ah.
attention of their audience, even with a shitty product. I've seen so many times that a person's website was just like the design is poor. It looks horrible. But their copy, every time they were able to like understand their target audience's point of view and experience and pain or the benefit they want to create for their customers, they were able to pull them in. It didn't matter what the design looked like. So that was one of the reasons why I got into marketing is because we all need to get better at presenting ourselves in the world. And I was finding that a lot of folks who needed to be in the forefront, the kind, the genuine, the people who care about other people, who want to see the world become a better place, they were often the ones who didn't know how to market themselves well. The people who had poor personalities, poor value, poor principles, just poor all around, are the ones who know how to present themselves. They're
Okay,
they're really good,
why is
gift of
that?
gab, because they have audacity.
Ah.
That's why it is. And the people who are kind and genuine and who want to put good in the world often don't have the audacity, like the people who are only selfish and care about their own,
Well,
profit.
yeah. Wow. Okay. So
Yeah.
that makes a
So,
difference. And that makes a lot of sense. What you just
mhm.
said. Yeah, I see that.
So I'm one of those people who's genuine, kind, and want to see more good in the world. And I knew that I had to get better at presenting myself. And marketing was the route. We all need marketing skills. We all need sales skills. We need it in our day-to-day life. We need it in our day-to-day to convince people to, and it's almost like a boundaries as well. Like if you know your target audience and who you're speaking to, then you'll know how to get what you want out of that scenario because everybody on this God's green earth is trying to get things out of people, whether we're conscious about it or not conscious about it. And it's about who does it better. Are you able to get that thing out of the person better than the next person? That's marketing. People don't realize how embedded marketing is in our everyday things.
Wow, that like okay, so how is it like just in everything like we consume like I mean like food wise, drink, like everything, like clothing, everything is marketing.
Yeah, the clothes you decide to wear, the food you decide to eat, there was a marketing team around that saying, okay, this is the audience we want to attract, this is the customer we want. And they position their product that way so that you will see it, like it, resonate with it, and buy it. So think about the clothes that you wear. What made you want to purchase that clothes?
Wow. Small businesses need you. And I say small businesses just because, and I fall under that because, I am the one person doing the many things. And
Mm-hmm.
then, so the marketing thing that you said, I felt seen because it's true. Sometimes marketing isn't the greatest at the end because you are tired and you don't know how to do it because
Yeah.
you're doing other things.
Yeah,
So,
so I didn't answer that question. Like, how do you do it if you don't have the resources? So, what I did was there are community services that are available. I don't know if they're available as much now as they were in the past, like funding sources and grants. Founders need to tap more into that so they can get the money from these government services that will give you grants. And even it doesn't even have to be a government service. There are venture capital funds that will give you grants, give you funding so you can do certain things. There are a lot more companies, venture capital companies,
What's
that
venture
are doing
capital?
that.
Sorry, what's venture
So it's
capital? What's
based
that mean?
venture capital is just like a source that would give businesses money. They'll take a percentage of it, but some do it without taking a percentage on off your business. But yeah, it is a funding source. Their whole business model is about giving money to businesses so that they can get a percentage of that business profit.
Oh, okay, okay. Okay, so I watched
Yeah.
Shark Tank and they always talk about venture
That
capital and I'm like, what is it? Like
yeah, they're all
I
venture
don't
capitalists.
okay, okay,
Hmm.
that's cool, that's cool. So okay, because you give all
Yeah.
this expertise, like do you I know that you like that is your business. Do you like do you teach as well? Like I feel like you should be teaching this. That's
No, I don't. I just don't feel like I'm a teacher. Like I've tried it before when I did the coaching thing, and I'm more of like, here's what you should do. Here's a playbook. I'm gonna hold your hand, walk you through it, and then go off and do your thing. I'm more of that person than let me create a course
I see.
and share because I feel like the things that like especially with copywriting, I felt like I couldn't teach copywriting. And a lot of people said to me, "Hey, you should have a course on copywriting." I'm like, "I don't know what to teach. That's something that comes naturally to me." Like now we have ChatGPT, so copywriters are kind of like non-existent nowadays. And I put air quotes because you still need copywriters if you want to be uncommon in this market because everybody's starting to sound the same. And then that was the same thing back then. Like everybody sounded the same, and you hired a copywriter so you wouldn't sound the same. So you would sound like yourself. So you would sound like the passion that you're trying to put out there, and really speak to the customer's pain versus what everybody else is spitting out there. So I never really got into the whole teaching thing. I will try my hand again at it, maybe through TikTok versus an actual course, even though I did
Mm,
create a course.
yeah. I think it would work. Actually, I'm kind of glad you did mention ChatGPT. I wanted to ask you about that. So, do you think that's something that should be embraced? Because I've seen a couple of your posts on LinkedIn, and I know you did talk about it. Is it something that should be embraced? Should we be using it with our marketing, like for ideas? Is that
Yes.
something? Okay,
Yes,
just
100%. But how
okay.
people are using it is backwards. They are opening up ChatGPT and saying, "Tell me what I should write." That's not how you use it. You still
Mm,
need to bring your expertise to the table. So you need to understand if, again, if we're speaking about this founder who's, let's say, an e-commerce founder, you need to understand who your target audience is. And if you don't understand who that is, you need ChatGPT to help you understand who that is based off the data that you probably already have. And that could be through your email marketing that you've been doing, that could be through your social media marketing, whatever channel you're using, you can take that data, put it into ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT, who is my customer based off of these analytics. And it will tell you, it'll give you some insight into the based off the analytics, it will tell you. And you got to decide from there, do I want to continue to market to these people who are organically coming to me, who I've already spoken to, who have bought into my messaging, or do I want to shift that? Um, so you definitely need to bring your expertise to that ChatGPT and not let ChatGPT dictate your business. You treat ChatGPT as the intern and not as the CEO of your company. And that is where the mix up is. Like it's an intern, not the CEO.
okay, okay, that's good. I'm really glad we addressed that because there was so much not mystery, but I know when ChatGPT just came out, like no one wanted to use. I didn't want to touch it, to be quite honest. I'm like, I'm a
Mm,
writer, I'm creative, I don't need this. And then I have started using it. I'm not even gonna lie. Like I use it for some prompts. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah.
Like we were saying before, if you're a solopreneur, sometimes you're juggling so much. So I do go there for inspiration at times. I'll be completely
Yeah.
honest.
And that can be one of your employees. So that's another one, like another way to handle not having the resources in place, like treat it as an employee.
Yeah. But then I do like writing I do like writing my own posts as well because I actually remember one post that I wrote and it was just like something just off the top of my head because I was just like it was legit just kind of just speaking I was just kind of writing what I was thinking and that
Yeah.
got a lot of engagement. So I thought, you know what? As much as I use ChatGPT, I will always still write because I felt
Yeah.
so
And
good
you
when I
should.
wrote it. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
so
I think you should take those sparks of inspiration and put it on the page as well. And then sometimes test it out, take those sparks of inspiration and say, write me a hook for this. Because that is really what's going to pull people in. Your first line. The job of the
Mm,
first line is to get that person to the second line. So if you know that people are only going to read the first line, you better make sure it's good.
that's true. Okay, great. But what are some simple tips that small businesses can use to stand out online or build their brand? Should we just say?
Whew. It's tough nowadays to stand out online. So I would even focus on standing out online, stand out in your customer's mind instead. And that means you're not going to go viral. That means some of your posts are not going to get the likes you're looking for, the impressions. It's not going to be out of this world. You might not get no likes if you're using social media route, or if you're using the email route, you may get no replies. You may get very dismal open rates. But that's not what you're after. You're after connecting with the customer that you want to work with. And so as long as you're connecting with them, that's where you're standing out. No more standing out online. Stand out in your customer's mind. That means you got to know them really well. That means you need to know what they value, what their beliefs are. A lot of businesses nowadays, especially in the climate that we're in, really need to focus on social impact. Like, what is your point of view? Outside of your product or service, you need to understand, what is your point of view? What do you believe in? What does the company believe in? What does it stand for? Because nowadays, that's how people are making their decision on what product to buy. Because there's so much products out there. There's so much services out there. What makes your service different? What makes your product different? And it's gonna have to be more than, oh, it does this 10 times better than this product. It has to be connected to something deeper now. Well, think about it. Like, I don't know if you've heard the discourse between, like, not between, but American Eagle right now is in the spotlight of Sydney Sweeney. She was the model that was doing for American Eagle,
Yeah.
who had the jeans on. And then, they in their mind had the play on words, jeans versus jeans. These are great jeans, Jeans versus Genes.
Hmm.
They thought that was clever, the marketing team. I think the CMO in particular, the chief marketing officer, said it herself, that they intentionally did the play on words. They intentionally wanted to spark debate in the market, and they did that. They just didn't expect that it was going to be so divisive. They didn't expect that there was going to be a large group of people who are saying this is eugenics. This is, beating the drum of patriarchy, and your audience isn't a white male. Your audience is women, essentially. Like, this race is the ideal race, essentially, with like the great genes line. What do you mean by saying great genes? Are you saying a white, blonde hair, blue eyed woman is great genes and everybody else isn't? When I first saw the campaign, actually, I didn't even know about the campaign. I was like, okay, I don't see what the issue is. But because they're not my market, I'm not their market. I don't buy American Eagle, so I would never even pay attention to American Eagle. But as I started to read people's point of views, I was like, okay, I see that. I do see where, it's pushing an agenda of this race is superior if you're seeing it from other people's point of view. And so that goes back to what I was saying, that it's not about standing out online anymore. It's about standing out in your customer's mind. And if your customer's mind is saying, I don't feel seen in this campaign because you are pushing a white woman, blonde hair, blue eyes, and saying that is great genes and I don't look like that, then I don't think I can shop there. That is what you are subliminal messaging. Now, there are some marketing directors out there that says, okay, that is the intention of an ad. It's supposed to spark debate. It's supposed to get your emotions riled up. And I agree 100%. However, marketing is also psychology. And if we're not careful, marketing can change ideologies in the world. It can shift things. It can create movements. I don't care what no one says when it comes to this. Marketing can do that. It's that powerful because it is psychology. Whenever we are marketing to our audience, we want them to believe in something. And most times it is the product that we're selling. So that's why I say it can't just be the product. What is your point of view now? because people are getting tired of trying to figure out what do I think, what I believe. They want you to think for them. And so that this is what's happening now in marketing where the brands who understand that do the thinking for their customers are going to win. And that's what
Mm.
American Eagle did. It just was a mirror to the messaging that they wanted to put out there. They wanted to put out that this woman or these jeans are more ideal than these other jeans. And come here if you want to have these jeans versus that jeans and whatever jeans you want to say. Is it a jeans with a J or a G? But that's for you to decide, right? That's the psychology again. That's them playing mind games with their customers. And it worked.
Wow. I didn't even know, like, I mean, I saw the ad and I didn't think anything of it. Like, to be quite honest, I didn't think, I
Yeah.
guess because I am not their customer as well. It's
Right. Well,
cheeky.
she said more things. I think it was playing off of a an older commercial that Brooke Shields did, and just saying that how genes are passed on. And she mentioned like physical features like blue eyes can be passed on,
Oh,
personality can
that's
be
why.
passed
Oh,
on.
okay.
Yeah, yeah,
That,
she did mention it.
okay. I did not know
Uh-huh.
that. That's
Yeah.
wrong. Okay.
Yeah. So
Ah.
it's all subliminal. It isn't direct. It isn't
Oh.
saying only white women with blue eyes, blonde hair can wear these jeans. It's not saying that at all. But the audience picked up that this is subliminal messaging and I don't like it because I don't mirror that. I don't look like that. So why would I
Okay.
buy those jeans?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's good. Wow. Okay. Okay.
Hmm.
I'm gonna go back and read more about that because I didn't realize about that other stuff. But
Yeah. I think that's a great example of like psychology and marketing.
and what I was thinking when you said psychology, remember you wanted to get into psychology, so you just
Hmm.
basically
Yeah,
married those two loves, right? It actually came to
definitely.
so it came to pass. It came to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
That's
that's why I'm able to see different points of views because my background is in psychology. And so when people like, especially in marketing, a lot of folks who are marketing don't necessarily come from a psychology background. It would be like a comms background or something that's unrelated.
hmm
Especially in the tech industry, you don't see people coming from that, especially from a social work background. Like it's unheard of to see or hear that a leader came from a social work background. And so they're not thinking about the impact, the social
mm,
impact
yeah.
of how it is for their customers. They're just like, we want to create attention. And when you mention like how does one stand out online, that is about solely about creating attention. When in actuality, you need to focus on how is it making an impact with your customers? Because once it goes out into the market, you no longer have control of how it's going to be perceived. You can't control the narrative anymore once it's out into the world. It now is in your customer's hand or your audience's hand on how they received your marketing or received your ad. So you better make sure that you had good intentions and frame it around that.
Wow, that was amazing. Okay, thanks. Oh my God, thanks a lot, Tennille. That was amazing. Everything you said, I hope was helpful to anyone who is struggling with marketing. And if they are struggling and they need someone, can someone contact you or even work with you? How would they get a hold of you?
Oh, absolutely. Definitely LinkedIn. Right now, what I'm doing is I'm helping founders build out their customer journey so it doesn't fizzle after the follow-up and make their CRM print money legally, of course. Because I really feel like people are getting stuck on building out their customer journey and building it out so that it is a workflow and not them doing all the work. So now I'm helping the founders that I was helping with before. It's no longer just copywriting, it's now building out an AI assisted workflow so that they're able to relieve some of the pressure of doing all the work themselves
hmm
and put in workflows so that they continuously get the results that will yield them the revenue that they're looking for or yield them the impact that they've already created.
Okay, great. Okay, great. And sorry, and just they can contact you LinkedIn. So just Tennille Cooper.
Definitely LinkedIn or my website, cheesepic.com. That's always a great channel.
Okay, great.
I appreciate the conversation.
So again, thank you so much for being on the show. Thanks for talking with me and sharing your expertise. And
Thank you for having me. I appreciate the time and reaching out.
no problem.
Thanks for listening to the latest episode of Words with Michelle, the podcast. So, if this episode resonated with you, please feel free to send the link to a friend who needs a little bit of inspiration. Thanks again. Take care. Bye.